Top 10 Best Places to Visit in Bulgaria. At number 10. Shipka Pass. Shipka Pass is a scenic mountain pass through the Balkan Mountains in Bulgaria. The pass connects the towns of Gabrovo and Kazanlak. It is a part of the Bulgarka Nature Park. Shipka Pass is 13 kilometers by road north of the small town of Shipka. During the Russo-Turkish War in 1877 and 1878, Shipka Pass was the scene of a series of conflicts collectively named the Battle of Shipka Pass, fought between the Russians, aided by Bulgarian volunteers, and the Ottoman Empire. It was opened with a ceremony in 1934 and designed by architect Ottona Stonkov and sculptor Alexander Andreev. The monument is a 31.5-meter high stone tower in the form of a truncated pyramid. A giant bronze lion, 8 meter long and 4 meter high, stands above the entrance to the tower, and a figure of a woman represents the victory over the Ottoman forces. There are 4 other floors where one can find replica of Bulgarian military flags and other relics. The top of the tower reveals a panorama of Shipka Peak and the surrounding area. It seems like 890 stairs are not a problem for the tourists as more than 100,000 people visit it annually. At number 9. Seven Rila Lakes. The Seven Rila Lakes are a group of glacial lakes, situated in the northwestern Rila mountain in Bulgaria. They are the most visited group of lakes in Bulgaria. The lakes are situated between 2,100 and 2,500 meters elevation above sea level. Each lake carries a name associated with its most characteristic feature. The highest one is called Salzada, which has clear waters that allow visibility and depth. The next one in height carries the name Okoto, which has almost perfectly oval form. Okoto is the deepest cirque lake in Bulgaria, with a depth of 37.5 meters. Babrika is the lake with the steepest shores of the entire group. Bliznaka is the largest one by area. Trilistnica has an irregular shape and low shores. The shallowest lake is Ribnoto Ozero and the lowest one is Dolnoto Ozero, where the waters that flow out of the other lakes are gathered to form the Cherman River. The 7 lakes are a tourist attraction in Bulgaria because of its natural environment. The lakes are located one above the other and are connected by small streams, which form tiny waterfalls and cascades. Tourist accommodation in the lake's vicinity include a chalet on the northeastern shore of the Fish Lake, at an elevation of 2,196 meters. The most common time to visit the lakes is summer, in July and August, when temperature is above 10 degrees Celsius and the risk of sudden storms is lower. During the rest of the year the weather can be severe. The lakes usually freeze during October, and do not melt before June. The ice cover can reach up to 2 meters. At number 8. Toshka Cave. Toshka Cave is an enormous cave in Bulgaria, which has provided shelter for groups of humans since the late Paleolithic era, and continuously for tens of thousands of years since then. Toshka Cave is located roughly 18 kilometers north of Lovech, near the village of Divteki. It is a karst cave formed from the dissolution of soluble rocks and characterized by sinkholes, caves, and underground drainage systems. About 200 meters from the entrance, the cave separates into 2 branches. On the left side, a small river runs along it, forming miniature lakes and waterfalls, passing through the main hall and eventually flowing into the Osam River. The right side is warm and dry and contains several chambers, ending with a round hall, known as the altar. At number 7. Marvelous bridges. The bridges were formed by the erosive activity of the once larger Irkutsk River. It transformed the marble clefts into a deep water cave, the ceiling of which eroded through time and collapsed, possibly during an earthquake. Geologists suggest that the water carried the debris away. As a result, the 2 remaining bridge-shaped outcrops remained. The larger one is 15 meters at its widest and 96 meters long, and shaped by 3 vaulted arches, the largest of which is 45 meters high and 40 meters wide. The larger wonderful bridge is passable under the vaults. The smaller bridge is 200 meters downstream. It is impassable to tourists, 60 meters in length, with a total height of 50 meters, 30 meters at the highest point of the arch. A third, small and inaccessible, formation follows, the entrance to a pothole where the river's waters disappear underground, reaching a sump after 3 kilometers. At number 6. Belgradchik Fortress. For a truly spectacular experience, combined with amazing nature, head northwest to the town of Belgradchik where the Belgradchik Fortress has been standing for centuries. Historians believe it happened in the time of the Roman Empire. The Romans were clever enough to choose a site where there was almost no need to build. The natural rocky landscape meant that walls from only 2 sides had to be built, from the northwest and from the southeast. For the rest of the structure, rock verticals as high as 70 meters were used. In 14th century during the reign of the Bulgarian Tsar Ivan Sratsimir, the fortress had to acquire a tougher military function. At that time, the Ottoman Empire was gaining new territories in Europe, and thus it forced many rulers, including the Bulgarians, to strengthen their defense systems. In this period, the fortress was the second most important in the state of Ivan's Ratsumir, only after his castle, the Vidian Fortress. The whole area of today's Belgradchik Fortress is more than 10,000 square meters. The walls are 2 meters thick at their base and 12 meters high. The astounding rock formations around the fortress are known as Belgradchik rocks and were formed more than 200 million years ago after once being part of a sea bottom. At number 5. Crucian Falls. Crucian Falls are a series of waterfalls in northern Bulgaria, near the village of Cruciana, Litnica municipality, 34 kilometers from the city of Lovech. They are famous with their picturesque landscape and are formed by many travertines. There is a tourist path leading to the cave where the river springs. The Cruciana waterfalls is a cascade carved by the Purinovska River into the soft travertine rock, the largest formation of this sort in Bulgaria. Emerging from a large and menacing cave called Marata, the first of the waterfalls is also the highest. The bright turquoise color of the water is due to the travertine, limestone, formed by the presence of mineral water with rich calcium content. Both the travertine content and the color are extremely rare for Bulgaria, and even the locals feel like they are visiting a place which is one of a kind. The terraces are at the bottom of the path and are the lowest level of a series of water cascades. The Cruciana Falls are the largest limestone water cascade in Bulgaria. The higher you go up the path, the bigger the waterfalls. The biggest one, called the Sprinkler, is 15 meters high. This region has been inhabited by Thracian tribes as far back as 5th century BC, and the ancient dwellers believed that the waterfalls take the bad energy away and they wash away pain and malaise. At number 4. Sozopol. Sozopol is an ancient seaside town located 35 kilometers south of Burgas on the southern Bulgarian Black Sea coast. Today it is one of the major seaside resorts in the country. The town established itself as a trade and naval center in the following centuries and became one of the largest and richest Greek colonies in the Black Sea region. Since 1984, Sozopol hosts the Apollonia Art festivities every September, which include theater shows, exhibitions, movies, musical and dance performances, book presentations and other cultural events. The busiest times of the year are the summer months, ranging from May to September, as tourists from around the world come to enjoy the weather, sandy beaches, history and culture, fusion cuisine and atmosphere of the colorful resort. For all the Instagram addicts, there are numerous great places to capture Sozopol's charming beauty. The curvy streets, beautiful houses, the beach and cliffs all make for great backdrops, particularly if you manage to include a sunset or sunrise as well. The Old Town Beach is right in the center of town, so it is easily accessible. You can always head to the beaches of the nearby camping sites, Kovetsy and Smokanya. At number 3. Tsarets. Tsarets is a medieval stronghold located on a hill with the same name in Veliko Tarnovo in northern Bulgaria. Tsarets is 206 meters above sea level. It served as the Second Bulgarian Empire's primary fortress and strongest bulwark between 1185 and 1393, housing the royal and the patriarchal palaces, and it is also a popular tourist attraction. The inescapable symbol of Veliko Tarnovo, this reconstructed fortress dominates the skyline and is one of Bulgaria's most beloved monuments. The former seat of the medieval Tsars, it hosts the remains of more than 400 houses, 18 churches, the royal palace, an execution rock and more. The fortress morphs into a psychedelic spectacle with a magnificent nighttime sound and light show. Tsarets Museum Reserve is located on Tsarets Hill, which has been settled since time immemorial due to its strategic location. Thracians and Romans used it as a defensive position, but the Byzantines built the first significant fortress here between the 5th and 7th centuries AD. The fortress was rebuilt and fortified by the Slavs and Bulgars between the 8th and 10th centuries, and again by the Byzantines in the early 12th century. When Tarnograd became the Second Bulgarian Empire's capital, the fortress was truly magnificent, but it was sacked and destroyed with the Turkish invasion in 1393. Tourists can thank the communists for returning it to a semblance of its former glory. At number 2. Rila Monastery. Rila Monastery is the most gorgeous, peaceful and authentic place in Bulgaria. It's a huge tourist attraction, and during the summer it's crowded with tourists from all over the world. The monastery is a key tourist attraction and many Bulgarians and foreigners visit it especially through the summer. Rila Monastery is founded in the 10th century by the hermit Saint Ivan of Rila. It is situated in 1147 meters altitude in the highest mountain in Bulgaria and the Balkans, Rila, with top Musala, 2,925 meters. The church treasures many valuable icons, dating from the 14th to the 19th century. The Rila Monastery preserved the Bulgarian language and culture in the ages of Ottoman rule. The monastery is known as being one of the hideouts of Bulgarian revolutionaries such as Vasil Levski, Peo Yevrov, and Gotse Delchev. The monastic apartments in the monastery are about 300, there are 110 monks' cells, over 30 drawing rooms, a big dining room, a hospital, a sexton room with library, 4 big floor chapels, lots of warehouses and kitchens. The rooms of doorkeepers are an arrest for the guilty people. It's one of the 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Bulgaria, designated in 1983. At number 1. Neseber. The Bulgarian seaside resort of Neseber provides the perfect combination of sun and history for those who need more than just a sit in the sand. Its fascinating history includes relics from the ancient Thracians, Greeks, Romans, Ottomans, and Bulgarians. Here are a few of the most important historical facts about the city. Neseber was first urbanized more than 3,200 years ago, at the end of the Bronze Age. The Old Thracian name of the town was Melsambria, translated as the city of Melsa. Melsa was believed to be the legendary founder of Neseber. Later the name transformed a bit to Mesembria, Mesembria, and Mesembria. The Greeks were the first to turn the small settlement into a town. They built temples, a school and a theater, and engaged in intense trade relations with other sea nations in the Mediterranean and the Black Sea region. Visit the Archaeological Museum of the town to see artifacts from this era. After Christianity had become the official religion of the Roman Empire, Neseber had several magnificent churches built. The architects who designed the St. Sophia Church in Neseber also designed the churches in Constantinople and Rome. The town's position was so convenient, it had 2 ports for ships to safely enter and exit from. Nevertheless, many shipwrecks occurred. Divers can see the wreckage around the area. The most visible remains of Neseber's history are the churches spread across its old town. Most of them are from the 12th and 14th centuries, a period of intense religious construction. According to the legends, Neseber once had 40 churches. Today 23 of them have been discovered. Neseber's old town is located on a long peninsula. Its unique natural position and the well-preserved historical buildings, especially the 13th and 14th century churches, are why in 1983 it was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site.